Hey guys, here's Louis, and the next panel that's going to be burned in to the Firebird will be this right here. So this is your trunk drop-offs, okay? And what I love to do is first test fit it and see how everything's gonna work out. And of course, like I have the video of don't trust the aftermarket panels. And that I say it as kind as I can be because I'm still grateful for those panels, like I said, because they'll keep these birds still on the road and easier to build them. Because without that, it will be terrible to build them. It'll be a lot of work to fabricate these panels. But once again, this is an aftermarket. This is a Dynacorn panel, trunk drop off. Okay. And here, everything lines up nice. Okay. You guys can see that lines up nice, but I made a line here with a marker because this doesn't bend into this panel, which is your trunk floor. So I need to push this over now, okay, on this side. And my idea is going to be cutting just a little piece from the top and a little bit from the bottom, a nice cut with a grinder, and leave the middle alone. And it should give me some flex to tuck it in. And let me try that and see if I could get somewhere. All right, guys. So what I did was I used my self tappers, one there and one over here. Okay. Now I did the cut where you see the marker right there, and the marker on mark. And this is the trunk floor. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the trunk floor. This line on, and from the darker black out is the trunk drop off. Now check that out, how that made a nice turn and it's 10 times more tight. Now, is it super tight like here? No, as you go down, the gap does get bigger, but I mean, what a big difference the relief cut did. I cannot tuck it in more than this, and the reason is, this being a convertible, my cocktail shaker is bracket is right there, okay? So this is as far as I can go, and I'm happy because before, this panel, the trunk drop off, used to kick out to here. All right, and I was not happy with it, so I did a relief cut. Let me show you guys. I use a regular angle grinder, and I made a cut coming down like this, and one little one down here. As you fold it, as you're gonna give it the nice bent that it has from our original panel, it has a nice bent on these Firebirds. You are going to see it's going to fight you here because this metal is going to overlap each other. And what you do is you make another relief cut. And my plan is just to stitch weld this nice and close. Okay. Here also stitch weld it. Okay. Grind it down, paint it, protect it. Now I will continue and just measuring and separating from each other, giving the nice gap I like to give, which is 1.5 inches, and keep putting my self tappers in. Okay, but first I want to take this off the car and weld it, and I'm gonna clamp it here so it doesn't move, and I'm gonna tack weld it like that doesn't move. Remove it off the car, finish welding, finish grinding, place it back, and then I'll put my self tappers going down this line here. And one more thing, so when you open the trunk, the deck lid from the trunk of a Firebird, doesn't matter 67 to 69, they all have it. First 3 years I could speak on because those are the cars that I collect. Those are the cars I restore from scratch. Like you guys seen this car. This is not my first rodeo. And originally from the quarter panel, when you're looking inside your trunk from here, you're supposed to have a gap. And I want to know if I have that gap because it's supposed to be there. I'll be right back after I spot weld that. All right now, guys. So I put my self tappers. They are very helpful. They are number one, the extra hands you don't have. And they are number two, the vice grips that you don't have. I have many, but I always need more on these projects, and these self tappers, they work excellent. So if you guys could see, I always space out my spot welds an inch and a half from each other. Okay, an inch and a half from each other. And I like to mark it with the silver marker, because there I will get my drill or my self tapper and just go right through, and I know that is in line. All right, I'm really happy how she fit, and as you guys can see here, I did nothing but just weld it. I have to grind down my welds, and over here also I also did some welding on there. Okay, and some welding at the bottom here. All right, I'm just gonna grind those down, and as you can see, she has that nice curve now. And check this out, check how all of this fits here. Okay, I mean, nice and tight, and I just have vice grips holding it. I will not be welding this until I get the quarter panel installed. Once the quarter panel is installed, I will weld it. I do not weld it to the end because I like to have some flex there, and then I tie everything in. Okay, so I will grind this down, this weld. I will keep plug welding here, and my trunk drop off will be done. Now I want to put back the quarter skin and see how everything is lining up. And I also want to see if I have the gap that I'm talking about. And guys, check that out. So let me get the flashlight here. You guys can see. So check that out. I do have the gap. Okay. You guys can see my fingers. There you go. It's through. All right. All the way through. Nice. And I would say about finger or so. As you get here, it's a little bit wider. All right. But that is factory. That gap. You're supposed to have that gap in between. Now, guys, I'm not going to show the left side. I did already check how it fits, and it fits way better. I do not have to do no relief cuts here or anything. Just basically put it on, make sure everything is nice and tight, use my self tappers and plug away. Here is where I had to do some fabrication, if you want to call it that, some massaging, right, of making those relief cuts. Well, guys, this is going to tie down to my inner tail panel. All right, and that video, I believe it will come up next here on First Generation Garage. I am happy how everything is turning out. Once I finish having the drop offs, then I'll go to the rear inner tail panel. Then I'm going to rebuild these door hinges. They happen to be original. Okay, I want to rebuild them and go from there. I need to set the door gaps and all that nicely. Once my door gaps are good and I'm happy how everything lines up, this quarter skin and the other side will be burned in. Those are future videos coming up. I'm moving step by step, but as you guys could see, I am moving pretty fast, and I'm really excited that is becoming to be a car again. I have the floor welded to the car now here. I still need to do the welds in the bottom of the rockers, but each day what I like to do is, if I don't have that much time, I go to the garage and I do about maybe 5 plug welds here, 5 over there. It might sound like a few, but believe me, as you go by, it counts. Okay, by the end of the week, you probably will have the whole thing done. And that's my strategies, because I can't come down here. I'm a family man also. I have a full-time job also, so I can't come down to the garage every day and play cars. But when I can, those are my strategies. And if I can't, I at least go down for just a couple of minutes do that and get back to life, you know. So those are my steps. After the trunk drop offs, my inner tail panel, rebuilt door hinges, set doors, burn the quarter panels in, then goes the tail panel, and this car will be nice and solid again. I will do in between the rear seat, and I don't think I ever showed you guys this, or maybe I did in the previous video. Yeah, I did. She's fitting nice. I have to still burn that in, but if you could check it out, everything is coming out beautiful in this car. And once I have everything welded on the car, I will be sealing the inside the way I seal it. Everybody have their ways, and I respect that. I also have a nice, cheaper way to do it, and it does protect it for a long time. All right, guys. So stay tuned. This is just getting better. As I do the inner tail panel, I will show you how I box in the rear frame rails to make it nice and solid. If anything, even stronger than factory. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helpful to a lot of you guys. Like I always say, take care, keep your hands dirty, and your project will move forward. Bye-bye now.